Good evening, y'all. I hope you're doing well. My name is William Jones, and this evening I'd like to discuss two very important uh, pieces that were written during 1776, very influential in the movement of independence in our nation, influential in the fight for the Revolution, and that is the Declaration of Independence by Thomas Jefferson and Common Sense by Thomas Paine. Both of these documents assert a unique American identity. This is something that was a new concept that was starting to develop, not something that everybody held. But this is something these documents promoted, that they've tried to make a case for, that Americans were not simply British subjects, but they were their own unique identity, these members of these colonies here. And we see that there were several ways of doing this. And Jefferson, in the Declaration of Independence, starts off in his first paragraph by dealing with the process of separation between two groups of people, that when they begin to dissolve their political bonds, as he says, that there's the right of those who have separated to step off and to embrace and their God-given rights and to stand on equal footing, separate and equal stations, as he words it, to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitled them. And he's making the case here that the Americans have the right to separate, and that they have full and equal rights just as any Englishman has in Great Britain. And he further strengthens his case for American identity based on also the negligence of that they interpreted the British people, the disregard for American concerns. They viewed the reaction of Great Britain towards their complaints and their concerns and the abuse of power as basically negligent and being disregarded. And so this was used as a point to strengthen this new identity of being an American that Jefferson was promoting here and alluding to in his Declaration of Independence. And then he concludes with an appeal to God that what they're doing were right due to the infringements upon their liberty by the British government. And because of these infringements, the colonists are justified in becoming a separate nation. Again, building the case for a unique American identity, building the case for independence, that Americans have the right to be a free people, to be an independent people. And we see very similar language with Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine, in his book Common Sense, has some, although written very close together, but not written quite at the same time. They do. Jefferson and Paine share some similarities in the way they make a case for American identity. Both writers reference the abuse and injuries of Britain towards the American colonies. Both also address the right of the governed to rebel and dissolve a government if it becomes dysfunctional, which is what the colonists felt that the British government had done to them, had become dysfunctional, impractical, and had violated their end of the contract, or the governmental contract, if you will. Both references the absence of colonial representation in Parliament as a reason for this new distinctive American identity. The lack of representation in royal government. And also both emphasize the right of individuals, and that's a recurring thing, God-given rights of individuals. Brad S. Gregory, in his book Rebel in the Ranks, even goes to this point, saying that both Paine and Jefferson embraced and promoted an individualism that really originated in the Protestant Reformation and came to fruition at this point in time in these revolutions. And so this is a similarity they both share in their writings. Now Paine, some things they are different. Paine gives a little bit more focus to the economic policies, and he even he argues for a unique American identity and independence based in one part on economics, that America is strong enough, rich enough to hold her own in the economies of the world. And he also goes on to say that Britain is not the mother country of America. Although the royal government asserts that, he says it's not. America is more European, if you want to go that route, because of the many religious dissenters from Europe. So severing that maternal tie to Britain is what he does there. And he also states that, in short, independence is the only bond that can tie and keep us together. Saying that we must be independent because we're a people and we must remain unified and together in this fight for independence, or we're all going to fall apart. Both of them use a lot of biblical language here as well. Jefferson and Paine do. But Paine really gets deep in his biblical interpretations, assaulting the monarchy and going and calling the monarchy out. So basically making a case that it's not even scriptural. And Thomas Kidd, in his book God of Liberty, brings up this fact that this was a big deal at this point in time. And you really see the development of this in 1776. But Paine's language is so biblical that Kidd also says in his other book, The Great Awakening, that you start seeing pastors you referencing him and starting to use some of his things in their sermon. But I hope this has been helpful tonight, and I hope you enjoy this. But these are just some ways that common sense and the Declaration of Independence are similar, but also slightly different. Thank you. Have a good evening.